let's do a quick color grading tutorial. I was just testing all the cameras, different angles here. Okay, let's start a tutorial.
You gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When it down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. Pacino.
Okay, so all of you have been asking me for this color grading tutorial, so I just thought, let me just start a folder. Let's start a new project and see how this goes. So I have obviously two monitor setups, and I have a Blackmagic coloring panel. So what I'll do is I'll take you through a very basic color pipeline, and then you'll get an idea of what software I use and some of the pipelines, my color grading pipeline. So enough talking, let's get into this. Let's create a new project. Let's call a color 1. So I just created a new project. The first thing I would do is go to settings. I think Shift 9, or in the right bottom corner, you could click that. Shift 9 is a shortcut for that. Learning shortcuts will really help with speed. So here the master settings are like 4K, and the frame rate is going to be 23.976 is what I use the camera settings for. And then we get into color management, Rec 709A. Let's leave it same as timeline. This is for Mac. And if you're going to do Windows, you should be doing Gamma 2.2, which is the standard that you can use for web on a Windows computer. So that's important. I'm going to switch it back to Rec 709A. Okay. So another important thing to do is go to File Preferences, and because I'm using Mac, and if you're using Mac, what you should do is go to General. It's very important that you switch on this over here. Use Mac Display Color Profiles for viewers. So that's how Rec 709A comes in. And also the one over here, automatically tag Rec 709 Scene Clips as Rec 709A. So if you're using a Mac, this is important. And if you're using a Windows, then you don't do this. Because, long story short, when you export your file, if you have to match on what you see inside the software, you will have to make sure this is right. Otherwise, when you export it, your contrast and your colors are not going to look exactly as what you did. So that's important before you start color grading. Let's start getting into grading our shots. You can always go back and pause and see all the settings that I've done. So let's just put in some interesting footage that if I could find something from my previous shoots, I would say, okay, let's try this Jordan shoot card 1. Let's just drop it here. This is one of the shoots that I did.
Oh, I got my phone. Lee, quick. Just a quick snap. Yo, quick snap.
Okay, that's not the clip. Let me just find it's the next shot. Yeah, I think this is the shot. I was using the Sony a7S III. I was using the iPad as a screen. Very minimal setup. Put the camera in the boot. And the shot was, this was the shot. Let's see the shot.
Action.
So that was very unintentional. He was okay, but anyway, let's grade this footage. So this is the clip that I'm going to grade, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the color page. So this is the color page. This is the user interface. So the three most important things are three nodes, right? Let's label them. So the first one is exposure. The second one is white balance. So I'm just going to put WB. And then the third one would be contrast. The fundamentals of getting the image roughly to where you want. That's the first phase, the primary corrections. Before we do that, so I would create 3 nodes here, and then I would add another node and I would call this CST. What CST stands for is, if you type color space transform, that's what it stands for. So I'm going to drag this into this node. And as I said, I shot this on a Sony S Log3, right? So we got to find the Sony S Log3.cine. That was my settings. And then I'll go down and again go for Sony S Log3. See, now you've seen some changes happen, and I'm going to select Rec 709, output color space, and Rec 709A. So you can already see it's pretty underexposed. Sometimes I underexpose to keep the highlights preserved, and I open up the shadows a little bit. Sometimes I do the other way around depending on the shot. So for this, I'm just going to, first thing is I'm going to go to my offset, which is this one over here, and I'm going to use the board for this one, and I'm going to open the offset exposure till I'm kind of happy where it should be. Like, I don't want it too much and I don't want it too less. So I'm kind of looking at a skin tone, and that's where I like the exposure sitting. I don't want to make it like super bright like that, right? My intention is not that. So I'll keep it somewhere here. So if I disable this, this is what it was and this is what it is now. And the camera has that information to lift it up. If I sometimes lift it up too much, I might add like a noise reduction filter. I didn't use any bounce board. These kind of shoots are pretty fast. It's like a limited crew. A lot of the things I fix it in post, and you know, just kind of move with the speed of it. So that's the exposure bit. We will go into the next node and try to get the white balance. So I'm going to switch on the skin tone indicator, show 2x, and then there is display qualifier focus. These are some technical stuff just to kind of look at the skin tone. You can see where it lies. So the entire offset, I'm just going to move it to the skin tone indicator. That's pretty much what I'm going to do here. Just very subtle, and push it a little down maybe. And then you have the contrast. So I'm just going to increase a little bit of contrast, and I'm going to pivot, open it up, right? So if I disable that, so you can see a little bit of pop. There are other ways to kind of increase contrast using the S curve and all of that. This is just a very basic thing that I'm taking you through. So if you disable each one, exposure, white balance, it's very subtle, and contrast. So apart from the vector scope, the waveform really helps you understand the exposure. So if I switch off the contrast and the white balance, see, this is exposure down and I lifted it up. So you can see like 1023 over here is like absolute white, and 0 over here is like pitch black. So you can see how I lifted up the entire exposure using the offset over here. So it's gone up, right? The thing is, if I had exposed for the sky, it would have clipped on top. It would have been way too close to that. So that's the reason why I kept it one stop under, to preserve the highlights. And in post, I know I haven't lost this information at the bottom. It's still within the waveform. So I kind of lift it up. So that's one way of thinking about post-production and shooting, depending on what's on frame. Like if I did not have the sky, I wouldn't have done that. I would have stuck with the absolute exposure for the skin. A lot of it is kind of flexing to the situation. And then if you want a film look, they have a filter in DaVinci called Film Look Creator. Yeah, that's what it's called. You kind of already see what's happened. I will put a 35mm. You have a couple of options here. You can always switch between these and see if you like anything. But the default option is like, it's like super overdone, right? So it's all about like bringing it down. One way you could do is you could bring the effects panel down over here. So all the halation and everything kind of dies off. 0.300. And if I disable that, see before, after, it got this little more filmic look to it now. You could also reduce the color blend by 0.500. So again, if you look at it and disable, it's very subtle. There's a little more greenish look in, you can see the green spread out, so you could always reduce that by controlling the tint. I mean, there is a tint option over here to kind of like move it slightly to the left or right. If you don't want that green look, if you like it, you can keep it. So this is a very basic thing because I've only done this whole thing in 5 nodes. You could have 100 nodes and have control for everything. Like you see this red thing, you could always mask that and do stuff there, or you can also have a vignette over here. So how I would do that is put a mask, boop, open it, feather it out right in the space, highlights. If I want to open it up a little more, see, it's very subtle, kind of punch in. So again, viewer, disable if you want to open it up more. If that's, sometimes the client will say it's too dark, I want more light, but honestly, I feel like it's subjective. So that's the thing with the vignette and those kind of things. So you can do a lot to really enhance it, and the more time you have, the more intricate you can get with the details. So I can get into more detailed stuff like the film look converter that we use here. There are like other paid expensive plugins that you could bring in to get different looks, or like the Kodak or the Fuji kind of looks. But this is a very basic thing, a beginner level to kind of play around. I know the node system can be very intimidating compared to layers, but just understand that every node, it does one thing. And every time if you want to go change something, you can just go into that node and change the settings there. So it's kind of like layers, but a lot more quicker and control to find stuff and do things. Once you get used to the node system, it's a little hard to go to layers. So I would strongly encourage you to try it out and start with simple stuff. But like I said, the 3 fundamentals are exposure, white balance, and contrast. Get your image right after converting your footage pipeline to Rec 709. Sometimes you would have shot on ARRI because all these options are there, right? You have ARRI, or you have Blackmagic, you have red color signs. So you have to just make sure your color pipeline is right, and then you kind of move into fixing your exposure, white balance, contrast. Then later you come down and you fix your, we call this, get into your look. Very basic stuff, can be done really quick. You could save these nodes as a PowerGrade and just apply it to batches and go back and correct exposure and things like that. This is such a quick, rapid thing. I'm just kind of getting used to the setup with the camera here, camera there, and the camera there. If this works out, I can do more tutorials like this, just sitting on the desk instead of being outdoor under a tree. Yeah, that's all I have for now, and I will try to put more tutorials as time goes. I hope this helped, and I hope you got to try something. And DaVinci Resolve is actually free. It is free to download and use, and I think that is a big deal for anyone who's starting out. And pretty much all the features are there except for a few professional features. But for you to start out and try the software, I would definitely encourage you to get into it. Okay, that's all for today. Thanks for listening to my simple tutorial, and I'll catch you soon. Ta-ta.
Sorry.
Oh no, bro, no! It's gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Cause baby, I feel real good and I wish I would. It's gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Everybody watch out. Everybody watch out. Watch out. Babe. Long enough, dog.
My bad, bro. My bad.
Had to get that.
Had to change your shoe.
Okay.